Alright, welcome back, and in this part of our tutorial series we are going to talk about the spawning. Alright, so let's get back to our player. The first thing that we want to do is we want to take the input from the user. Alright, so the last time we saw that we could take input by just passing input.getAccess, something like this. So we're going to do the same thing. We could do it, but let's try it a different way. There is a option in Unity called input dot get input button or something like that. So we're going to use that. So yeah, so the first thing that we need to do is first find out that which key, if the space key was pressed. So we need a if condition, and inside the condition we need to say that whether or not the space key was pressed, right? So it's going to be input dot get key down, and we are looking for key code dot space, right? So this, again, another conditional. This is going to be called when the users press the space button and when it's actually down, not in the up direction, right? So there is two event. One is get key down, one is get key up, and another one is get key, right? So I'm just going to show you all of them. There is input dot get key. Yeah, so there is get key down, that returns true if the user pressed the button. Get key means whether the user press the button or release the button or holds the button, then we get this thing, get key. Okay, get key up means the user has like released the button. All right, so yeah, there is three different methods. We're using the get key down method, and if the player like presses the space key, what we're going to do, we're going to create the bullet. So let's do it. We're going to do instantiate. This is the method that comes with Unity, and it has lots of different parameters. We're going to use the most common one, which basically takes the original game object that we want to clone. So we want to clone this bullet game object, so I'm going to do bullet, and then we're going to look for a position where we want to spawn it. For now I'm going to say transform dot position, and there is a rotation. So there is something called quaternion. It's a complex topic. I have talked about it in the math part separately, so I highly recommend you, if you want to know about it more, just check it out. But for now we are just going to use always quaternion dot identity. This is mostly common. All right, so quaternion dot identity means this is an identity rotation. That means there is no rotation applied. Okay, so all right, yeah, so now if we save it, go back to Unity, play the game. Now you can see we can spawn bullets. That's awesome. All right, they're spawning. As you can see in my hierarchy, lots of bullets are getting spawned, right? So if we don't like get rid of them when we don't need them anymore, for example, we cannot see the bullet anymore, right? So we don't need them anymore. So if we don't delete this bullet, there should be a problem. What is it? So let's try to understand this concept next. Okay, so remember when we talked about classes, I mentioned something called object, right? And basically this is how it looks like. So we have a class. This is basically the blueprint. We have the name bullet. We have some properties like speed, and then some methods, which is we're using the update method to move our player, move the bullet, sorry. So now this is the blueprint. This is how it looks. Now when we are basically creating a new bullet using the instantiate method, we are creating a copy of this, and in the memory, this is our computer, the computer, when you basically create a variable that creates a like take some store, uh, take some like space in the memory, right? So when I create another variable, it creates another memory, it takes another memory. When we add another one, takes another memory, and so on. So um, based on your computer or based on your device that you're using, the memory can be different. For example, the RAM, that the memory means the RAM, right? So for example, if you are using a 8 gigabyte RAM, that is the amount of memory you have. So if we don't delete the bullet object, it's gonna keep adding this reference, right? It's gonna keep adding, and at some point there's a huge bunch of memory going to be allocated in our memory, and that will cause our game to crash or lag, or in fact the game can crash completely, right? So that's why we need to take care um, of the objects when we don't need it anymore, right? So we are going to delete or destroy the object when it's outside the screen bound. Okay, just to show you how it should be in our, like how it should affect our computer, I have created thousands of bullets. I have not deleted any of them, and as you can see, my Unity editor is now like taking like 800 megabyte of the memory, and the power usage is really high. So as like more I add these components, is going to make it worse. All right. So that is the thing. So what we need to do is um, when we basically create a game object, we should always make sure that we also delete them. All right, otherwise this sort of things will happen. So currently my Unity is almost like froze. Anyways, so yeah, I'm just going to stop the game, and if I come back to Unity now, you can see the power usage is very low, right? And the memory usage is also going down a little bit. The CPU usage is also going down. So yeah, so that's the thing. So we need to always take care of our memories when we don't need them anymore. Anyways, so yeah, so in the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how we can take care of these bullets which we don't need anymore. All right. So yeah, I'll see you in the next time.